I'm just sitting out here thinking and chilling at the moment. It's early afternoon. I'm ignoring the hell out of the V2K, and I was just letting my mind drift a little as I considered something. I was reminded of a conversation I had with my brother. He's the most open-minded of all of my intermediate family members to organized harassment. The idea of organized harassment, you know, the government having us targeted once our names are on the illegal watch list. Now, of course, us TIs know it's all true. We live it every day. But my brother is usually the most skeptic, and he'll make a joke out of it a lot of times. And he told me he tries to make a joke out of it to make light of it because it gets me upset. But it gets me upset when, I'm talking about it, and, of course I would take it seriously. It's happening to me. But he said that's the reason he tries to make light out of it and even make jokes about it, not to make fun of me or anything like that, but to just try and make light of the situation. But when you're a TI, stuff like that doesn't really make light of it when a person is making comments that are like joking towards your situation. I don't know, maybe I just need to lighten up and have some humor at times. But anyway, we were talking and he was saying, okay, let's say everything you're saying is completely true. Because I already know it's true, but it's like he's still skeptic. And he was saying, so let's say your names are on a illegal watch list. You and all of these other people out here who are claiming to be targeted individuals. Let's say your name is on the watch list. Let's say you're being targeted, like you say, and then it's all exposed. And the government tells you, okay, we're going to stop targeting you. We're going to take your names off the list. They can say anything. But his question was, do you really believe that that's what they're going to do? And I actually had to stop and think about it. It was very depressing to think along the lines he was talking, but it was a good point, because when you think about it, COINTELPRO, they were doing that for years. Then it was supposedly shut down, but we see that it wasn't. It was just continued under another name, under a whole different, or a whole similar, shoot, I hate when I lose my train of thought. It was continued, basically, just under a different name. Same tactics, different name, but it was supposedly all shut down, but we know it's not. So I started to wonder, it's like, I didn't really think about that. A lot of times what keeps me going is the fact that organized harassment will indeed be shut down one day. It will be exposed and it will be shut down, but now it's a good thing to ponder the possibility that, what's really going to happen? Are we really going to be safe when this is all exposed and supposedly put to the end? I mean, when you think about it, let's say the government says, okay, we shut it down, but let's say we're still hearing the V2K, or we're still feeling the directed energy attacks, and what's going to happen then? If they're saying one thing, but we're telling them it's still happening, you didn't shut down anything, you're full of shit, it's like, of course, then it's going to be another fight. I do believe that laws will be revisited once this is exposed. They will be revisited and changed to ensure that this doesn't ever happen again, because that's what we're going to push for. That's what I'm going to help push for anyway. Because if you don't have a changing of laws or anything like that, it's just history is going to repeat itself. But I also thought of the fact of, well, will we really be safe when it's all exposed? You think of all of the people that are involved in this. True, everyone is not involved that we come across in public or wherever, but there are a hell of a lot of people involved in this, and a lot of them, not some of them, but a lot of them have their heads stuck so far up their asses. They really think they're doing the right thing and that they're on the right side. They really think that they're performing justice. They think that they're actually helping a good cause when they're not. They're brainwashed. And, it's like, imagine when they're exposed too, and possibly, hopefully, held as accountable as the government for what they've been doing to us with the stalking and harassment. Because if you think about it, stalking and harassment in itself, those are charges, those are charges. And it's like, I could imagine all these people, they would get upset, and instead of being upset with the main people they should be upset with, the government that lied to them and brainwashed them, I could imagine them getting upset with us. And it's like, imagine these fools trying to group together for vigilante groups and all of that, trying to come after us. It's like, maybe I think too much, but I was just thinking about that. It's like, what is the world really going to be like when this is all exposed? Are we really going to be free? Are we finally going to be free in all senses? And are we finally going to be safe? Are we going to be able to actually go out in public, without being stalked and harassed? Are we actually going to be able to just sit and relax without hearing V2K or being attacked by these remote weapons that they're using against us in our bodies? Like, I just wondered, it's like, what's really going to happen? I would love to believe that, as I've been believing, that once it's exposed in a way that it can no longer be denied, it's all going to just come to an end. It's going to stop. And we're going to be free for the rest of our lives, living it up, doing everything us targeted individuals have ever wanted to do but can't because of this program. But then the other part of me is like, how do we know that the government isn't going to just wait for this to all blow over once it's exposed? And then, in later years, they restart it all back up just like they did with COINTELPRO, and they continue it under another name, same or similar tactics as before. I guess it's just a matter of loopholes, ensuring that there are no loopholes in the law that will allow these kind of operations to continue. The only people's name that should be on that watch list are terrorists. I have a feeling that the government is still going to try and justify it even when it's all exposed, saying, but we have to keep this watch list because there are actual terrorists out there we need to keep tabs on. So I feel like the watch list is still going to remain in existence even when this whole thing is exposed. They're just going to be shamed and punished for putting innocent people's names on that list. That being said, for me personally, I just kind of wonder, even after it's been exposed, like, are they still going to find a way to keep tabs on us or on me? Try and justify ways to, they might quit the V2K, they might shut off the direct energy weapons towards us, TIs, but are they still going to try and justify their surveillance programs against us? Because the government does watch everybody. I believe they watch everybody, but they watch us TIs to a more drastic extent, and they do things to us that they don't dare do to other people in our American society. But it's easier for me to believe that once it's exposed, it's going to be the end of it. There's going to be radical change all across America, and we're finally going to be living our best lives. I remember the V2K about a month or two ago, they had given me the idea that targeted individuals are actually going to become federally protected. We're actually going to have federal agents protecting us, like it's like bodyguards, because this is deeper and bigger, they told me, than what I believe it is. We would have to be moved to undisclosed locations because, hell, when you think about it, they've got all of our personal information and they've given it to thousands of people to give access to us, into our personal lives, all the way down to our finances. There's no such thing as privacy when you're a TI. So when I see people, even on social media, saying, you shouldn't say this, you shouldn't say that, you shouldn't be so open because you want to respect your own privacy. It's like, once you're a TI, you don't have privacy. Everybody that's involved sees you. They hear you. They know everything about you. There's no privacy. You can't even go to the bathroom and have a dump in peace without them seeing it. So there's no such thing as privacy. But again, I guess I was just wondering, and I wonder what you all think out there, other targeted individuals who may come across this video. Do you believe that when it's all exposed, it's going to be over? I mean, it is going to be a new chapter in our lives when it's exposed, but do you believe that, we're finally going to be safe and free again? And we'll have nothing to worry about from the people that's been involved and the government itself. My response to my brother, by the way, after I considered his possibility was, okay, I see your point. I have an open mind to that possibility, fine. Because you never know with the government. You can't trust those bastards. You just can't. But right now, we are all just trying to get over that hurdle of getting it exposed, getting it in the media, bringing these people, these governmental criminals, bringing them to justice, like putting them on trial and having them charged and sentenced for it, as well as the perpetrators. That's the hurdle we're trying to get over. Whatever comes after that, it just is what it is. We'll have to see when we get there. But the main focus right now is just trying to get over that damn hurdle of finally getting everyone out there to realize we've been telling the truth all along. We are being targeted by the government. And they are using people to target us as well, along with their directed energy weapons. So that's the main hurdle. And I guess that's what I'm going to focus on. I just had that little thought in my head, and I was just thinking. Like I said, I might just think too damn much. But whatever happens afterwards, I guess we'll see. Always hope for the best, but I always keep the possibility in my mind that it may not be or may not happen the way I think. I always just keep that worst case scenario deep in the back of my mind, just in case, only so I can be prepared and not caught completely off guard.